standing in the doorway of a life you barely recognize. There are words you never finished and questions sleeping in your eyes. You've become so good at disappearing without ever leaving the room, laughing when somebody asks you, "Are you doing okay?" too soon. You've counted every reason why tomorrow might not matter, but you haven't counted all the things you haven't lived to answer. So before you make a judgment on a life still incomplete, before you call the story over, give the next page room to speak. Before you give up, before you close the door, before you decide that nothing could ever be different anymore, put down the weight you're carrying, just long enough to breathe. You don't have to solve your whole life, you only have to face what's here. Before you give up, let somebody know you're hurting. Let one voice reach the place where you've been fighting all alone. You may not believe tomorrow has anything left for you, but you haven't met it yet, so don't leave before you do. Maybe you're a parent who keeps everyone from falling while nobody notices how close you are to breaking. You've learned to make the dinner, sign the papers, kiss goodnight, and sit alone inside the kitchen, trying to survive your mind. You wonder if your children would remember all your failures, but love doesn't keep a record of every moment you weren't able. They may remember something smaller, your hand upon their head, the way you stayed beside them when there were no words left to say. And maybe asking for some help is not surrendering your ground. Maybe the bravest thing you've done is finally letting yourself be found. Before you give up, before you close the door, before you decide that nothing could ever be different anymore, put down the way you're carrying, just long enough to breathe. You don't have to solve your whole life, you only have to face what's here. Before you give up, let somebody know you're hurting. Let one voice reach the place where you've been fighting all alone. You may not believe tomorrow has anything left for you, but you haven't met it yet, so don't leave before you do. Don't make a lifetime decision from the worst hour you've ever known. Don't let one exhausted chapter pretend it is the whole book. Call the person you've been avoiding, say the sentence you've been swallowing. I don't know how to carry this. You don't have to make it beautiful, you don't have to make it make sense. Just let somebody sit beside you until the weight becomes less. Before you give up, stay long enough to be surprised. There are mornings you haven't witnessed, there are tears you haven't cried from joy. There are ordinary afternoons that may one day feel like gifts. There are conversations waiting that could change the way you see. There are parts of you still growing beneath everything you cannot feel. Before you give up, don't demand a reason for forever. Just choose the next small moment, then another one after that. You don't need to see the whole road, you don't need to know what comes next. Just don't let your darkest moment write the ending of your life before you give up.